Welcome to our town hall. We are so excited to have you today. We're going to be going over a few different things today. First, my name is Jay Schurter. I'll go ahead and pop on my video so you can actually see me. My name is Jay Schurter. I'm the Communications Senior Manager over here at the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis. It's going to be a very exciting presentation for you today. First, just want to let you know we do have sign language interpreting. Folks can go ahead and look at that if it's on the side of your screen. We will have chat for engagement. And we also have the Q&A, which some of you have found already, which is great. So if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to pop them in there. We will answer them as we go, but we'll also save some for the end, especially if you folks have, the same question over and over, then we'll be sure to hit on those. And then all the ones that were not answered, don't worry, we will take those questions, we will answer them, and then we'll post them on the website along with the recording for this webinar. Which leads me to my next bullet point. We will be recording this webinar. So if you have to duck out early or something pops up, don't worry, we will record this and share so you guys can take a look back at it. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to go ahead and send it over to our amazing Board of Commissioners Chair, Andrea Purnell. Andrea?
Thank you, Jay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. As Jay mentioned, my name is Andrea Purnell, and I do proudly serve as the chair of the Regional Arts Commission, and equally as proud, a graduate of RAC's Community Arts Training Institute, affectionately known as CAT. A big meow to all the cats in the house today. I was born and raised in St. Louis and have maintained a successful artistic career as both an artist and an arts administrator for over 15 years. As an administrator, I currently work as the manager of audience development with the St. Louis Art Museum, where I spearhead cross-departmental engagement strategies, and am currently co-curating one of our exciting upcoming ticketed exhibitions opening in August, titled The Culture, Hip Hop and Contemporary Art in the 21st Century. In addition, I'm also a working artist, currently performing in a play produced by Mustard Seed Theater, written and directed by phenomenal local talent. At RAC, we believe in a supportive environment where working artists can be seen as a major decision makers in our community and respected for the leaders they are. If you're a working artist out there, we want you to know we see you, we believe in you, and we could not do this without you. This year's theme is Unleashing the Artist Within, and as a commission, we will be tapping into our own individual creativity and unleashing the power of the arts while exploring methods of self-expression. As chair, I look forward to leading with the philosophy that I learned during my training as a CAT, and that is working with, not for. This mindset is designed to create deeper empathy and understanding as we learn from one another. I can assure you that RAC will continue the work of making our region's arts ecosystem remain diverse, creative, and accessible. Art has the power to expand conversations, build stronger connections, and improve the quality of life in our city. With your help, we look forward to solidifying St. Louis as a destination for arts, culture, and innovation, and we thank you for your continued support. And now, you will hear from RAC's President and CEO, our fearless leader, Vanessa Cooksey. Vanessa?
Thank you, Andrea. Good morning, everyone. It is great to have you all with us today. Thank you for spending time to hear from us and the great work that we will be doing. In addition to hearing from myself, you'll hear from my colleagues and fearless team members, Ann Hobbrick, Nicole Belford, and Jay Schurter. So let's jump right in. We will also leave plenty of time for Q&A and answer any questions that you have. Want to share a revenue update for those of you that have been part of our community for a long time, even before the pandemic, you know that we have been on a slow and steady climb for our recovery. Our annual hotel revenues, the actuals are shown there in green, and what we would have had pre-COVID are shown in blue. And so we are excited today to say that things from a hotel motel sales tax revenue perspective are better today than they were 2 years ago. For those of you who are new to our community, RAC receives 98% of its revenue from hotel motel sales tax. So the impact of COVID and the shuttering of travel really had a significant impact on our revenues, but we are near the pre-pandemic revenue for 2023. Our estimate revenues are just over $7 million. So while we're not at pre-pandemic levels yet, we are certainly seeing a great recovery, and this will be reflected in the work that we do. This will be a historic year for RAC. You'll hear from our colleagues a little more detail, but our plan is to award over $8 million in grants this year. So that is very exciting and a historic moment for RAC. So we're very thankful that people are traveling and RAC is recovering nicely. Now, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Ann Hobrick, who will start our share on our 2023 priorities. Ann?
Thank you so much, Vanessa. We're very excited that $3 million in hotel motel sales tax grants will be distributed through an open grants process to program support and artist support grantees, as well as to the continued funding of the 2019 General Operating Support Cohort. The artist support and program support guidelines, including the application questions, were published on our website last month. Yesterday, the applications opened in our Blackbaud portal for both artist support and program support grants. First-time program support applicants are required to submit a pre-application as part of the pre-qualification process. All other program support and all artist support applicants have the option to submit a pre-application. Pre-applications are due on Monday, February 20th. Feedback from the RAC grants team on the pre-application will be provided from February 27th through March 17th. The deadline for all program support and artist support applications is March 27th. The program support and artist support grant awards announcements will be made on June 8th and grants paid out fully in mid-July. In terms of increased technical assistance, yesterday we completed a series of application writing workshops designed to set our artist support and program support applicants up for success. Don't fret if you missed them. Each was recorded and recordings can be found on RAC's website. Workshop topics included basic grant writing, how to create an artist statement, creating the narrative for your grant application, and building a budget. You'll also find a glossary of terms on the RAC website to assist you through our process. We continue to streamline our process. We are also continuing our policy of not requiring matching funds for both program support and artist support. This was not just a pandemic era pass. And we've aligned our grant review criteria, scoring, and application questions, making the application easier to complete. This year, both the program support and artist support application has 9 questions, responding to 3 criteria: artistic essentials, community benefit, and capacity and sustainability. And last, for this slide, we invite you to nominate yourself or others to be grant reviewers. I'll drop a link in the chat box when I finish my presentation. In terms of our program priorities, we have the Community Arts Training Institute, and we're welcoming the 2023 cohort. After a 2-year hiatus, RAC is thrilled to welcome the return of the CAT Institute. This weekend commences the 26th year of training artists and community practitioners in cross-sector collaboration to effect positive social change. Yes, there will be a cohort of 17 individuals who embody a diverse range of talent, skill, and experience. It consists of those working in the visual and performing arts, community planning and organizing, social work, wellness in the healing arts, preservation, arts administration, youth programming, and more. There's also the Gio Abada Fellowship, which is a partnership with the Gateway Foundation. The Gio Abada Fellowship is a program for undergraduate students pursuing careers in arts management. Thanks to major funding provided by the Gateway Foundation, the program addresses the need for a more diverse, inclusive, and equitable local nonprofit arts and culture sector. The fellowship is a substantive, full-time summer work opportunity for college undergraduates from backgrounds that have been traditionally underrepresented in the arts. The 10-week paid summer fellowship program provides competitive stipends for 10 college students who are placed in jobs with 10 St. Louis arts organizations. Also, RAC is partnering with Mid-America Arts Alliance to implement 2 professional development programs for St. Louis artists, Artist Inc. Express and Artist Inc. Live. Artist Inc. Express addresses the challenges artists and creatives face. Over the course of 9 hours and 1 weekend, artists of all disciplines will learn business skills relevant to their work, helping them turn their art practices into sustainable art careers. Artist Inc. Express will occur virtually the weekends of February the 24th through 26th and April 14th through 16th. Recruitment efforts are underway now. If you are interested in learning more or registering for this free program, I'll drop a link into the chat for that too. Artist Inc. Live is designed as a high-level immersive experience for the next generation of artist leaders. Meeting over the course of 8 weeks, participating artists work to explore and develop the professional aspects of their artistic practices. 9 St. Louis artists are currently participating in the program this spring. Another cohort will participate in the fall program. I'm now going to pass it off to my colleague, Nicole Belford, who is the External Relations Senior Manager. Take it away, Nicole.
Thank you very much, Anne. Good morning. I am so happy to be speaking with all of you regarding RAC's advocacy efforts. RAC jumping into the foray of politics is not something that we have done in our history, but it is imperative that we build relationships with our elected officials. The legislatures, city, county, and state make many decisions that greatly impact support for the arts and arts education. In the coming months, RAC will host advocacy workshops on how you can advocate for the arts with your local and state officials. We are so grateful for the passage of Board Bill 66, allocating $10.6 million of ARPA funding to RAC. And we will work closely with the new Board of Aldermen after the April elections. We want to ensure that we have the allies we need and that they will continue to support us and our efforts. Unfortunately, we were not so successful with the county allocation, but we are working strategically with our county officials to find other sources for arts funding, and we will keep you informed on our progress. Advocacy Day was last Wednesday, February 8th, and we had 45 proud St. Louisans that represented artists, arts organizations, and art supporters, along with RAC personnel who joined the Missouri Citizens for the Arts for Capitol visits. We met with numerous state representatives and senators, and we voiced our concerns regarding 7 legislative priorities. The non-resident athlete and entertainers tax, where we requested the legislature appropriate $19.8 million to the Missouri Cultural Trust Fund. And we asked for the continued appropriation of ARPA funding to help Missouri's creative economy and state funding for capital improvement projects for arts and culture facilities. Also, we requested that Missouri students K through 12 have access to quality fine arts education, and we asked for additional funding for the Missouri Fine Arts Academy. There are 2 bills being discussed in the legislature. First, the Entertainment Industry Jobs Act will grow Missouri's music and film manufacturing infrastructure and create new jobs. And second is the Show Missouri Film and Digital Media Act, which would reauthorize tax credits for film projects that expired in 2013. RAC will work and support with our elected officials and continue to advocate, partner, and show how the arts impact our community and contributes to our cultural economy. Thank you very much for being here. And now you will be hearing from my esteemed colleague, Jay Schurter, Senior Manager of Communications.
esteemed might be a heavy word, but thank you, Nicole. It's my pleasure to speak with you again today. If I could get the next slide, please. All right. So I'm going to speak nice and slow for our interpreters who are working very, very hard, and we appreciate it. So we're doing something else. Nicole had mentioned getting into the political sphere. Well, we are also diving in deep to cultural tourism. So what do we want to do? Well, first and foremost, we want to advance St. Louis's reputation as a premier and arts culture destination. Now, we all know that St. Louis is an arts town. Well, we want everyone else to know that too. So we're going to complement the campaigns that Explore St. Louis, which is our Convention and Visitors Bureau, of what they're already doing. So they're in places like Chicago, Kansas City, Springfield, Missouri, Springfield, Illinois, places like that. Folks that we know come to St. Louis on a regular basis, but we want to go even bigger than that. We're going to start marketing in Indianapolis, along with Columbus, Ohio. These are two towns that absolutely love the arts, have a population with expendable income, and really are short drives or flights to St. Louis. So we're very excited to try to bring more people to St. Louis to stay in hotels while they experience the arts in St. Louis, which in turn gives us more tax dollars and allows us to give more grants. As part of this, we're going to launch a new website, and this is very exciting for us. Currently, there's not really one website that really explores all the wonderful arts and culture destinations in St. Louis. So we're going to create one. We're going to be called stlouisarts.org, and this will be a base of all of our tourism campaigns, but also a place that people in St. Louis and the surrounding counties can also visit to see what's happening in the arts. And for all of our folks that get a grant this year, our program support grants, our artist support grants, we're going to be hosting a series of workshops to help you storytell, to help people care about your organization or your artistry. We're going to help you market yourself. We're going to help all those people that have skeleton staffs figure out a way to stay on top of social media and content creation. So be looking for that sometime, hopefully this summer. And the last thing I want to show you is a really great commercial that we ran during the Musial Awards rebroadcast on KSDK. This is the first time, really, we've ever put a commercial on television. So it was something we were very excited for, and I'll have Vanessa play that momentarily. There we go. Take a look around. St. Louis is an arts town. Every year, more than 12 million people come to St. Louis to experience the arts. So what are you waiting for? From concerts, festivals, to galleries and performing arts, there's something for everyone in St. Louis. So unleash your curiosity and come see what you've been missing. Take a look around. St. Louis is an arts town.
Hold on there. I am trying to get back to the PowerPoint. All right, give me 1 second. There we go. All right, thank you, Jay. I also want to share another one of our top priorities is research and evaluation. We are building a new department within RAC, a research and evaluation department. And for those who have been with us for a while, we are excited to share that we are going to have a state of the arts event on October the 23rd, where we will announce and share two pivotal pieces of research reports that we have worked on for over a year. One is the Arts and Economic Prosperity Study 6. We hosted a launch event last year at the Sheldon. This is the largest study of the economic impact of arts and culture in the country. We are contracted with Americans for the Arts to collect data from both arts organizations and audience members. And this report, which is done every 5 years, will be released at this event on October 23rd. So when we talk about the economic value that and the economic contribution that the arts and culture industry makes to this region, $600 million in economic activity, 19,000 jobs. This is the report that has those facts. So I'm excited to see the contribution that our industry has made over the last 5 or 6 years. And so we will share that with our entire community. Nolan Blevins, the CEO of Americans for the Arts, will be joining us to talk specifically about the impact of the St. Louis arts community in the context of our national arts and culture sector. We will also release the results from Artist Count 2. Artist Count is a research report and data collection effort that we engaged in back in 2013. So it's been 10 years, but it was the first of its kind in this research, in this region, to capture the economic impact of our artists. And so we are in the process of securing the resources to start that research within the next 30 to 60 days, and we will release the results. So this is one of the most comprehensive economic data events as it relates to the arts and culture sector happening on October 23rd. So please save the date. It's going to be a really great event. We will also have increased professional development workshops. So we're going to take what we learn from these studies and help artists and arts organizations put it into action. So very exciting experience on October the 23rd. Our other priority for 2023 is continuing to build our organization infrastructure. When we were first faced with economic challenges due to the pandemic, not only did we have to reduce our grant making, which we are slowly rebuilding, but we also had to reduce our staff, which we are slowly rebuilding. And so we are adding some key positions at RAC, key leadership positions. Vice Presidents of Finance and Operations, Growth and Development, and Grants and Programs. We actually just posted our Vice President of Grants and Programs position yesterday, as well as a Research and Evaluation Manager. So these are key roles that are going to help us continue to achieve our mission. We are going to look strategically at our IT offerings, both internally for our team members, but also the technology that we will have available and interact with and engage with our grantees. And then we will continue our work on our facilities. Our building at 6128 Delmar continues to be closed this year due to maintenance and other lack of staff capacity. And so we're just looking more closely at facilities, our strategy for facilities this year. So continuing to be good stewards of our organizational resources. Now I want to talk about our second grant cycle for 2023, and that is the distribution of our federal ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act funds. So we expect to grant $5 million this year. We will host a special town hall in March of this year for artists and arts organizations that are located in the city of St. Louis. It was the city of St. Louis that allocated $10.6 million of ARPA funds to RAC to support the recovery of our artists and arts organizations. So we will host a special town hall and give very specific and detailed information about the distribution of the funds for 2023 and 2024. The key thing to note is ARPA funds are not hotel motel sales tax funds. And so the requirements for these grants will be different. The application process will be different. The eligibility will be different. Federal funds have significantly more requirements that RAC has to follow, and which we will. And so I encourage you to please visit our website. We're going to build a whole new section of our website dedicated to ARPA funds. We'll have the eligibility requirements, the ordinance that governs the distribution of these funds, very transparent process. Everything will be posted on our website. Thing to note is that RAC is required to distribute all ARPA funds by December 31st of 2024. For artists and arts organizations that receive those funds, they have to be spent and reported on. Final reports due by December 31st of 2026. So this is very much recovery dollars that will be used to help advance the work of our artists and arts organizations in the city of St. Louis. Next, I want to share at a very high level, we are still working with the city of St. Louis to finalize our contract and receive the funds, which we're expecting to happen in the next 30 to 60 days. We will open grant opportunities for artists and arts organizations in the city of St. Louis in the fall of this year. There will be 6 distributions in 2023. They will be in our existing categories of general operating support grants, which will be for arts and culture organizations only, an estimated $3.6 million over this 2-year period will be distributed. We will also have artist support grants, which will be for artists only, $2.9 million across 3 grant opportunities in 2023 and 1 in 2024. And then we'll have our program support grants, which will allow for both artists and arts organizations to apply, nearly $3 million there as well. So 6 different opportunities this fall and 4 opportunities in the fall of 2024. It will be very important for you to stay tuned to our website and be connected to us through our social media and our email newsletter, where we will release information about when and how to apply. If you have friends, colleagues, family members that are creatives or artists, please have them to sign up for our e-newsletter, visit our website, and follow us on social media, because those will be the primary means of communication for how we distribute information about these ARPA funds. All right, now is my favorite part of all town halls, our opportunity to answer your questions. So if you have a question for myself, Andrea, Nicole, Ann, or Jay, we are happy to answer them.
So I have a really good question from Joe. Knowing that ARPA support from the city was 10.6 million, will there be multiple grant cycles to distribute the full amount, or is the balance being invested in different ways?
That is a great question. So outside of a 10% administrative allocation of that $10.6 million that will be split between the city of St. Louis and RAC to actually do the work of administering the grants, all of the dollars will be distributed to artists and arts organizations by December 31st of 2024. We will have 6 grant opportunities where we go through the entire grant cycle of application, review, and payment in 2023, this fall. Our goal is to open those opportunities up in the fall of this year, August, September, and get those grants processed and paid by November or December. We will have 4 grant opportunities or 4 distributions of ARPA funds in 2024. And so effectively, all of this money, except for 10% for administrative, staffing, reporting, legal, audit requirements, will be distributed to artists and arts organizations in the city of St. Louis by December 31st of 2024.
All right, here's one for Anne. We had a couple of questions about how to become a reviewer. Could you explain that just a little bit more of how people can get involved?
Sure. There is a registration link that I put into the chat, but if you go to the RAC website and find that on the grants page, you can certainly nominate yourself or nominate others. We will be, we will be convening, so you will get a number of applications to review in either artist support or program support, and then you'll compile your scores, get them back to us, and if we need to convene a panel meeting, if there's a huge variance in that scoring, then we will convene a virtual meeting. But take a look at the website, and I also, like I said, put that a link to that in the chat.
Quick question about grants. Can 2022 grant recipients apply again?
Absolutely. Please come back to us if you got a grant in 2022 or if you did not. We look forward to getting your application.
I had one of where can you sign up for emails or e-newsletter on the website. So if you go to our website at racstl.org, you should have a nice little pop-up that shows up as soon as you get there that will ask you to sign up for our e-newsletter. So if that doesn't pop up, then thinking about it a little bit more, we probably need a permalink on there. But we'll be able to put that up there, but it should pop up as soon as you get to our website. All righty. Another one for you, Anne. Are community organizations that hold artistic-based events eligible for grants?
Yes, you absolutely are. Please take a look at the eligibility and the guidelines on our website. And if you have any questions, get in touch with me or Chloe or Lee. And there's lots of information on the RAC website about that. Please apply.
All right, another one for you, Anne. Creative placemaking is listed as an artist-only grant. What about organizations that do creative placemaking?
We are working on our public art plan right now. So that will all be determined in the very near future, and we'll be sharing that public art plan with you later this year.
I've had this one a couple times, and as a volunteer reviewer, can you also apply for a grant? And or if you're a grant recipient, are you allowed to be a reviewer for another grant?
Yes. Yes, you'll have to, we'll put you on the right panel so that there is no conflict of interest, but we do welcome you to be reviewers. We need you.
All righty. If we have received grants in the past, do you still need to do a pre-grant application? And if we have questions about what category to place our project?
All first-time grant applicants will need to file a pre-application. If you are not a first-time applicant, and this is for program support, if you are not a first-time applicant, you do not have to submit a pre-application, but if you would like feedback on your application, please do submit that pre-application. And those will be due on the 20th at midnight, which is this coming Monday. What was the second part of that question, Jay?
Sure. They asked if they have some questions or clarifications about where they should apply. How do they do that?
I would take a look at the frequently asked questions, which will be posted by Friday afternoon on our website. And you can also look at the webinars that we did that are all posted on the grants page as well. If you still have questions, I would suggest emailing either me or Chloe. And you can find our emails on that grants page and in those webinars.
And could you talk a little bit about, again, for the grant reviewers, sort of the time commitment for that?
You know, that will depend on how many applications we get and how many reviewers we have. I think it should be, and I'm gonna duck out of here for a minute after I answer this and look up that I don't have that schedule right in front of me, but you will receive those applications in a timely manner so that you can review them. And it's really going to be on your own. There will be training of the reviewers. We have not yet decided if that will be like a Zoom call training, or if it will be a video. But that will be happening sometime in early March. And then it will really depend on how many applications we get, like I said. So I'm thinking you're probably going to be committing up to about 20 hours of work to us, but that is all going to be on your own.
Here's a good question. Would we be considered a new program grant applicant if we had received funding before, but it was 4 years ago?
You will be considered a new applicant. We did not have the Blackbaud system that we have now. So if it's been a while, you do need to act like a new applicant and come in that way. Yes.
I've had a few questions pop up about eligibility, and this sadly happens every time we have a town hall. By law, the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis can only fund St. Louis City and St. Louis County. That's just how it's set up in state statute. As much as we would love to fund things in the Metro East, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, et cetera, we are bound by law to only serve those in St. Louis City and St. Louis County. And Vanessa, if you want to elaborate on that, by all means.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jay. And I have a couple other points to add in response to some of the questions. We were founded in 1985 by state statute. So we are chartered by the state of Missouri to serve St. Louis City and St. Louis County, because the hotel motel sales tax, which is our primary revenue source, is generated in St. Louis City and St. Louis County. And so for those of you who live outside of St. Louis City and St. Louis County, I encourage you to check out the Missouri Arts Council. They have grants for arts organizations that they fund across the state of Missouri. So they will have resources available, a separate application process for those of you that live outside of the area. But we do appreciate your interest in the arts in St. Louis City and St. Louis County. But currently, hotel motel sales tax funded grants are for city and county, and ARPA funded grants will be for St. Louis City. Couple other points that I wanted to make was that this is going to be a historic year for grant making. Last year, after a 2-year hiatus, we were able to offer artist support grants and program support grants, and our total giving was $1.15 million. This year, we have $3 million allocated, so $1 million specifically for program support and another $1 million for artist support grants. Historically, our budget for artist support grants has been $250,000 to $500,000. So we have effectively doubled the amount of grant dollars that are available to support working artists. So if you know a creative in this community, please tell them we are being very intentional about creating opportunities for more grant dollars to go to artists in this community. The other point that I wanted to make is, as it relates to the application process, our team has been very intentional about thinking about the applicant in this process. The whole application, as Ann mentioned, is 9 questions, and it should take you about 30 minutes. So don't feel like this is daunting. We were very intentional about offering workshops in advance that are posted on our website, where we literally walk you through the entire application process. So we want to make sure that this isn't an onerous experience for you, in addition to the fact that we will be paying these grants in July of this year. So you can apply in February, March, go through the process, and we will pay these grants this year. So we have been very thoughtful to make this a user-friendly experience for our grantees. The last point that I wanted to make, since we had several reviewer questions, looking forward to having you in our RAC family as a grant reviewer, that is a stipend opportunity. So the amount of time that it takes to review grants shouldn't be long in a per grant perspective, but we do offer a $200 stipend for our grant reviewers. So we welcome you to sign up to be a reviewer. We will provide the training. It is all online, so you can review on your time, in your space. It is a completely online process.
I had a couple questions. This is for Ann, about for-profit businesses or non-arts organizations. Can they apply for grants, and for Vanessa for ARPA grants? If they're for-profit or non-arts organizations, can they apply for either ARPA or regular grants?
In terms of the hotel motel sales tax grants, you have to have a 501c3 in order to be eligible to apply for our program support grants. You can be a non-arts organization and apply for arts programming, but you have to have that 501c3. So a small business, an LLC, not eligible.
And that is the same for ARPA funds. The goal is to help the nonprofit arts and culture sector recover. And so for ARPA funds, for organizations, same rules apply. Non-arts 501c3s that have arts programming will be eligible for ARPA funding, but this funding is limited to 501c3 organizations. For grants that are paid to artists, clearly 501c3 requirements don't apply, because we will actually be giving dollars to individuals. So individual working artists and creatives are eligible for both ARPA funds and artist support grants. 501c3 organizations are eligible for program grants, regardless if they're fully arts missioned or just have arts programming.
A question from Sabrina. If you apply for and or receive general operating support, will you be eligible to apply for future creative placemaking grants?
I'm happy to answer that. So for this first round of this first grant cycle that opened on Monday, that are funded by hotel motel sales tax dollars, you are welcome to apply for those. And if you are in the city of St. Louis, when we open our second grant cycle in the fall for ARPA funds, you are welcome to apply for ARPA funds as well. So if you get hotel motel funded grants, you are also eligible to apply for ARPA funds if you're in the city of St. Louis. And part of the reason why we chose to host our hotel motel funded grants earlier in the year is because those grants are available to artists and arts organizations that are in the city and the county. For general operating support grantees, there's a separate process for hotel motel funded grants. So if you are a general operating support grantee, you've been contacted by our grants team. We're having meetings. For ARPA grants, it will be separate. In 2024, our goal is to move to unrestricted grants for all arts organizations. Program support grants would be for non-arts organizations that have arts programming, but we want all arts organizations to have the flexibility to use funding from RAC for what will help them most, whether it's programs, operations, staffing. So we're moving towards that in 2024. So we will not be making the distinction between general operating support orgs and program support organizations as it relates to our arts and culture sector.
Here's a great question. I always like this one. What are individual artists able to use grant money for?
Well, first, I encourage you, and please hop in here as well, to watch the workshop that we posted and read the guidelines, but it is very flexible. You can use it for your personal needs. You can use it for supplies, for your creation. We want artists to be able to create, and we know that having resources to fund any parts of their work are really important, but all of the eligible expenses are listed in the application guidelines.
You covered it, Vanessa.
Here's a question. For the 2019 distributions from ARPA funds, is that going to be an automatic distribution or will there be an application process?
There will not be an automatic application. Sorry, say it again. There will not be an application process for this. We are effectively fulfilling the 2019 grant. For those of you who are new in our community, our general operating support grants have two characteristics. One, they're multi-year commitments, and two, they're based on a very rigorous application process. So in 2019, we made awards to 40 organizations for general operating support over a 2-year period, and we would pay those on a quarterly basis. When COVID hit and we went from $7 million to $2 million in revenue, we had to make the tough decision to pay a reduced amount. For 2020, we paid those at 25%. And in 2021 and 2, we paid them at 50%. So we still have a balance on those 2019 awards because our revenue hadn't fully recovered. And so we are going to use the ARPA funds to pay the balance of those original 2019 awards. So an application process for that is not required because it's already complete and we know what the balance is.
Are programs or projects affiliated with local universities eligible to apply for grant funding?
Not this year. We have done that in the past, in the RAC past, and we will revisit that this year and hopefully be able to do that again next year in 2024.
After fulfilling the 2019 grant awards, will there still be 2022-2023 GOS available to GOS organizations before the close of the fiscal year on June 30th?
Yes, I recommend that if you are a GOS grantee that you have heard from us and we are taking you through a process that is in alignment with the current award process, but we do have dollars available for our GOS grantees that are hotel motel funded grants in concert with our artist support grants and our program support grants. So I highly encourage you to either send an email and or send an email to grants@racstl.org because we have a specific cohort of general operating support organizations and we've been in regular communication. So in case there's a need for more information, please touch base with Ann directly.
And then last one I have, will organizations with budgets under $250,000 eventually be eligible for general operating support grants supported by ARPA funding?
Yes, we will not have, well, first, let me say this. We are still working with the city on our contract for the ARPA funds. The federal guidelines that are required for us to adhere to for ARPA funds are very different than what we usually have to adhere to from a hotel motel sales tax. So as we are completing the process and finishing and solidifying the eligibility requirements in the contract with the city for our administration of these funds, we will share what is required of an organization and an artist. So again, hopefully we'll be in a position to host a town hall in March of this year. Once the contract is complete and the funds are received by RAC, we will have a town hall that goes through every single detail of how ARPA funds will be distributed. So just hold tight, and more information will be available for those artists and arts organizations that are in the city. Be very transparent process.
All right. Well, we are almost hitting the 11 o'clock mark. We answered a lot of questions, a lot of great questions out there. If anyone still has some questions, I encourage you to email us at info, I-N-F-O, at racstl.org. And we would be more than happy to answer any question you might have.
We thank you all for being here this morning. We enjoy hosting these town halls so that we can communicate and give you updates on a regular basis, what is happening with RAC and how you can engage with us. You can expect another town hall in the fall where we'll have more information about our plans for 2024. We enjoy hosting these twice a year so that you can know what is going on with us and find ways to engage and participate in our programs, our grants, and our activities. We encourage you again to please sign up for our e-newsletter. Tell your friends, family, colleagues, so that we can communicate all of the grant opportunities far and wide. So thank you all so much for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.